Okay.
Hello, Louise. Welcome to this Life After Lockdown series. Thank you very much for joining us. Can you start by telling us a little bit about what you do? And I think there's a clue in the background there that we can see. And if it has been affected, which I think is the case by the lockdown, how? What's changed?
Okay, well, I'm a Kundalini yoga teacher, and I have been teaching previously before lockdown at in our little local village hall, and also taking people on retreats, particularly to Sri Lanka. So as you can imagine, with lockdown, all of that came to an end. I'm also a Watsu practitioner. Watsu is a therapy that's done in warm water. It's bodywork therapy, and it's very, very hands-on. So as you can imagine, that's another therapy that has well and truly come to an end, which has really been really difficult for me, you know. Soaking in my bathtub is not doing it for me.
It's not the same.
Water. I'm so missing it, really, really desperately missing it. And with Watsu, there's been nothing I can do to do that, you know, to replace it. For the Kundalini yoga, I, after lockdown, could see that everybody, all the other teachers, and well, you probably saw it too, everybody going crazy on let's do online classes, and they were just everywhere. I was somewhat resistant to that, I have to say.
Yep.
I was resistant to it because Kundalini yoga is all about energy, feeling people's energy and holding space with the people and using that and really helping people through the process. And for me, not having anybody there, not being able to hear them breathe and do the techniques, I just thought, you know, can't do that. Don't want to do that. I didn't want to do what everybody else was doing. And so I really did resist it until a lot of my students were just thinking, we're missing it, Louise, we need something. So I gave it a go. Oh my goodness me. I do have to say, my first attempt at doing an online class, it was disastrous, absolutely disastrous. I got everybody chanting. We use chanting a lot in Kundalini. It's very, very good for energy and the vibration in the body. And to, you know, my usual students, very good at doing this, really good at now. They're not self-conscious at all. Got everybody chanting away on the first class. But the problem was, I hadn't put anybody on mute, you know, the sounds of everything going all over the place. I tried to draw it to an end and get them to come back and take a big deep inhale. Nobody could hear me. Chanting. I thought, my God, what do I do? What do I do? We're going to have a whole hour of them chanting, Waheguru, Waheguru. Until I was just floundering around thinking, what can I do to stop this? And found this mute button, suddenly put everybody on mute. Shut up, just shut up. Can you just stop chanting? And they're all looking completely bemused. Oh my goodness, it was just so, so bad. That was the first class. Second class, I thought I will try again. I'll put everybody on mute, which was much, much better. It did obviously work. But what happened then, the second class, halfway through, everybody with their arms in the air being held with long, deep breathing, which is really quite difficult. My internet decides to pack up.
Oh, no.
I'm gone, teacher gone, as though I've walked out of the room, leaving everybody up there with their eyes closed while I'm trying to reconnect. No idea how long they were there for, holding their arms, but it was just, I came out of that class and I just said, I can't do this. This is just mad, absolute madness. So I decided I wasn't going to do it until a charity that I support in Sri Lanka, the single mums in Sri Lanka, they were looking, obviously charities have been badly hit by lockdown and everything that's happened. And I could see that they were really needing help and support with this. It was an early morning meditation, actually. It came to me. that, okay, Louise, you know, you're not going to do it. It doesn't matter. Just do something for someone else. And so I thought I could do this, give it another go, but get the students to donate to the charity, and it will be then helping. And if I could feel that it's doing some good, I wouldn't feel so bad about it, you know, about the class being a bit not quite as it should be, and everybody feeling as though we're all contributing and they are getting something. So I decided I would then continue with this Zoom nonsense, and now I've really cracked it. You know, it gave me another motivation, actually, another motivation just to try to make it work, and to see how I can adapt the classes and make them, you know, viable. And it's been fantastic since I've become much more adept at using this technology, being able to use the music, because in Kundalini yoga, mantra and music is very, very important. It's a really, really important part. And that was the difficulty I was having, is getting people to actually hear the sound clearly, the music, and my instructions too. Yeah. Which is why I've got this wonderful microphone now that I've invested in, that now makes the sound very, very clear while playing the music. Yeah. And now it's just got better and better and better. In the same way, I'm now also being able to feel I can connect more with my students online and give what I was giving a little bit before in a real life situation. So it's definitely evolved, and it's very much an interesting process, because I think in lockdown we can resist the change. I think I just want it to be the same, you know. I want my hall, I want this. And I went through that resistance. I could feel it in myself. And to really sit with that and take time to process it and find a way through that, to come out the other end with a process that now I will continue with.
Oh, wow.
That's really interesting to hear as well, because in some of the other interviews we've done so far, it's a common thread that that the lockdown period has been a real catalyst for people to change. And like you say, there's bound to be resistance. I think we all resist it in some way, but it's like, you know, you get back up, brush yourself off, and think, right, what can I do about this? And that's what you've obviously done there. Yeah. The other thing I loved about what you were saying there is that it kind of came to you in a meditation. So you really kind of tapped into that different kind of sphere in a way to get that solution. So that's what you're about, isn't it? Because you're very spiritual.
Oh, very much so. And it's very funny, this notion of change, because I've been doing a lot of my teachings on change. Because change is something that we don't cope with very, very well. But when you look at nature and you look at life itself, it is all about change. Yes. It's never the same. Yeah. Because, you know, the flowers wouldn't blossom if they didn't have change. New life wouldn't be born if we didn't have change. We wouldn't transform. If you look at your life and your life cycle and where you've been, it's been all about change. But as human beings, my goodness, don't we resist it? Yeah. So what is it that makes us resist change? When in nature, it is a process that is so beautifully natural. Yeah. And so I've been guiding people to feel, to go with that change and to go with the flow. And it is about the mind. It's our mind that stops us from doing it, which is why the meditation for me, I knew that that's what I needed to do. I do that every morning anyway, but it's to go inside and to understand and listen, so that then the solutions are always there. When you quieten yourself down, your solutions are inside. And that's where the solution was. The solution was, they need this in Sri Lanka. They need some money. Okay, I'm not going to do this for money for me. I'm going to give to people that really, really do need it. And I've got a technique and a way that I can do that. If it will help my students too, so much a bonus. And it has. It's got better and better. So much so that, as I say, I will continue to do the classes, because the other beautiful benefit of this technology is that I can get students that can't come to little old bleeding
Exactly. Yeah. But please be in Nottinghamshire, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know, because obviously it's not that well known.
Oh, the little village, Luiggi, that nobody knows about, hidden away, where I do my classes for my community, which is wonderful. But to be able to spread that out to my retreat students, for example, that have been coming with me to Sri Lanka, many of them have never done a class with me in Louise, but they come from London, they come from all over the place, and they come with me to Sri Lanka. And so they are just so happy that they can now have a class with me again. I'm international.
Yeah, exactly. It's wonderful. That's one of the really big advantages.
My Reverend Chandimal, my Buddhist monk friend in Sri Lanka, he joins in the class now every day.
Really? Oh, wow.
Excellent.
And that's why it's a novelty. Come to the Thursday morning class, folks, and you will see a lovely Buddhist monk in his robes doing Kundalini yoga.
Oh, wow. How many people do you have?
It does vary.
Yeah.
Kundalini, we don't have that many, and I don't want to have too many.
No, I would think it could be too much.
About 10 max I would take, and then I would reduce that down, but 10 is a good number. Yeah. So, but 10 people in the morning, 10 people in the evening. It's rather nice.
Fantastic.
Have you come to any other realizations, generally speaking, in the context of being in lockdown? Have you noticed anything new, made any changes, anything like that has occurred to you?
Do you know, for me, it's not been a traumatic change, because this is probably how I live my life anyway, quite within myself, and not seeking and needing social interactions. And that sounds awful, that, but it's not that I don't enjoy it. And also, you know, a lot of people don't understand that, but I do enjoy, and I can cope with being alone, and I can enjoy that experience of being with myself and enjoying where I am at this particular time. So that cutting away and not being able to link in with people has not deeply affected me. In many ways, it's really, really helped me, because it's helped me. I think that my realization has been is that my practice and what I do has given me the support to be able to cope with this. And this is what Kundalini actually does. It strengthens your nervous system, makes you very, very aware of yourself and who you are, so that you can cope with life's little
fluctuations.
Yeah, and when the rug has been pulled from underneath your feet, you don't go like this. You can sit with that and cope. And I suppose that is one thing that I have noticed, that yes, I can cope very, very well. I don't feel nervy, worried. I'm very sure and confident, because there's a trust and faith that things will level themselves out, as they always do. This is what happens again in life. It goes in this flow. And that when you have this anchor and this stability inside, when things start getting rocky around you, you're sure you're able to manage and to cope with that. And it's highlighted to me how much people really do need this stuff, and how rocky and shaky their nervous systems are, in the way that I've seen and been surprised by, I think, some of the reactions of some of people around me who I would have thought would have coped better, who have struggled with it. So again, making me realise how important the work that we do and what I do, how important it is for people. Making them realise that that's what they need is another matter.
Oh, yeah.
They resist it, saying, I'm fine, I'm not stressed.
That's really interesting, what you've described there as well, because it's something that we've kind of like spent a little bit of time kind of from the learning that we've been doing about the autonomic nervous system, and how, you know, in the kind of modern world, a lot of us are constantly in the sympathetic fight or flight mode, rather than the parasympathetic mode. And the meditation that you mentioned, and that helps you to kind of get back into that parasympathetic mode as well, which is where the healing and the creativity and the relaxation and body repairs happens.
Exactly. But even more so as well, actually, on the physical body, you can see when people's nervous systems are shaky, not just within meditation, but within Kundalini, you're required to do it's like a series of exercises that are timed, and they can look, oh, you think that looks easy, I can do that. But when you're being asked to do it for 3 minutes, that becomes a little bit trickier. And 3 minutes of having your arms in the air like this and holding, even 5 minutes or so. Do you know when people's arms begin to shake or the system going like this? You can almost see, you know, that is the nervous system saying, oh, hang on a minute, don't like this, you know, what's going on there. The mind then kicks in saying, take the easy route, put your hands down, you don't have to do this, blah, 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 that's being spoken to you. And you can see within people, they don't have that strength of will that's within them to be able to cope. The moment it gets difficult, they run away. But isn't that what we do? The moment life gets difficult, what do? We hide it and maybe have a glass of wine. Anything to run away from the pain. Hide the pain, rather than go towards that and come back. You'd be amazed at how you can get to a point where it suddenly disappears. It's like something else is holding you up there and holding. I was teaching somebody today about that, and she, you know, telling them that it's okay, you'll be okay. Just go through it, ride through it, and go to that other space, and you'll be amazed at how we're stronger than we think we are, basically. We're incredible machines and an amazing, you know, capacity to heal and to strengthen, and have much more of a strong caliber. This is what we need.
I was wondering, and this is changing the subject a little bit, but I was wondering if it's prompted you to do any more writing, because there is a rather excellent book written by Louise from quite a few years ago now. It's time for another one.
Time ago. That is interesting, yes. And that I love writing. It's my creative outlet. And I do enjoy the process, and I have been writing another book, but it's a book that has taken me so long to write, so long, because it comes from a very deep space and an emotional space inside, and it's not been an easy one for me to write. Desperate to finish it. I'm about halfway through, and I did think in lockdown that I was thinking, oh yeah, come on, loads of time to get this writing thing going here, I could just do it, and that was one of my intentions to get going, and I did start, but then I moved away again, and I think it's one of those that I'm resisting. I'm getting to the tricky part within the book, resisting going there, and I'm doing a little bit of what I said that you do, running away from the pain. But I do come back and I do float in, so I think it will get finished, and it is happening. I do know that there will be another book at some point.
We look forward to that.
Yes, we do. We absolutely
like that one. Because as I said, life changes, you go to completely different places.
Oh, that's fine. You're at liberty to do that. You're the author. Can we just ask you perhaps one more question? And it's a big one. What are your hopes for the future? And that's really on any level that you want, whether it's personal, global, the work you do, any of it. What do you hope for the future as a result of this? Do you hope there will be lasting changes?
Do I hope there will be lasting changes? I think, and I'm a very, very positive and hopeful person naturally, and we are, and I know that what is happening in the world is happening because we're going through and we're moving into a new age, an age where we're becoming more sensitive, where people are becoming more aware, and where people are wanting to experience rather than just to have knowledge. As we're moving into this new age, though, there is a certain resistance from people who are clinging on to the old systems and the old ways, which is why we're having so many clashes at the moment that we see with all around the world. You know, with Trump in America, and we've got our Prime Minister here as well, all holding on and clinging on to the old way of doing things. But I know, and you know, and you can see it and feel it, that people are wanting change. They're wanting things to move. They're becoming more caring about their world and their environment. They're seeking to experience. I can see it with students being drawn to things like Kundalini yoga, towards more holistic therapies, wanting more understanding about their bodies and experiencing that. So I know that the change is going to continue because we're moving into that age and people are. It's going to be slow and we're going to have these crises and ego, but we need it in a way. You need these explosions for us to sink, and for a lot of people who are resisting, to sink so low that they know the only way has got to be to the new way. And there I think we'll have by that time more and more and more and more people who will be becoming more awake and more aware and able to carry those changes on. So you can't go back. No. It's never the same. I mean, you know, in life you can't go back with anything. You've got
to going back to normal.
Well, it might seem that sometimes we're drifting back, and you'll see the stories of this and you'll think, oh no, that's the same old. But it's not going back. That's still the resisting, this resisting, I still want to keep the old system. When you move into a new age, and this is the Aquarian age of...
It is. I wondered if it was the age of Aquarius.
Yeah, and it started a few years back. I mean, we're in it.
Yeah.
And when you do move into these new ages, this is what happens. These big explosive things that are happening in the world. I mean, this has been huge. It's what's needed in order to actually transition and to carry us forward. So being hopeful, can continue what you're doing too, and know that people are going to be coming with you and carrying us forward. And we are the guys that are going to help people move into that age with a little bit more grace and a little bit more calmness, because we all need that. But have faith and know that it's a good time. The age of Aquarius is going to be a good one.
I love the way you said that as well, because we heard something very similar recently by somebody that we follow, who was saying that it's the people that are involved in the kind of, I suppose, in the more holistic side of things that are going to be the flag bearers for the other ones to follow. And I think that
that's the point of these interviews.
It is really
selecting people who, because we know so many people who want to move things forward and who are exciting people to know, because they're making the changes, albeit with fits and starts. They're making those changes themselves.
Exactly. No, I mean, you just have to have faith in the work that you're doing and know that it is the right way, and not force anything. Just to keep on doing and delivering what you're doing without trying to grasp and grow, because it's going to happen naturally. We're on that path. You're on there, and then people will join in when they're ready.
Yes.
So I have some people as well, and they're not ready for Kundalini and becoming aware. It's too much for them, and they're not there yet. And that's okay.
Yeah.
There'll be people on their different paths, but they are going to be surrounded by this lovely warmth that's coming from people like ourselves. So even if they're not quite there, they're going to be comforted, and so things are going to calm down. People calm.
Yes.
I still think there will be more explosive things that are going to happen, because the world's been in such a bad place for such a long time.
Yeah, and I don't think we've got the message fully yet. So maybe more needs to come.
Yeah, there'll be a lot more to come. But as long as we can keep your nervous system strong. You don't frazzle, you'll be able to carry on. You'll be able to keep on doing it.
Yes.
Keep doing it with a smile. I think we take this so seriously sometimes, that we're here on this earth to actually be happy, and I think we can forget that.
Yeah.
In a crisis and in this, let's smile. Let's find the fun side and the good side.
Amazing words.
Yeah.
Can
you give us a good way of letting people get in touch with you, for example, if they want to join your classes? What's the best approach for that?
The best way is to take a look at my website, because then you can see if Kundalini is for you. I've created actually a nice little video of Kundalini basics, because it can seem a little bit daunting when you come into a class. So you won't be as frightened if you look at the video and go through it at some of the time.
What's your website address?
My website is www.immortalyoga.com. Immortal.
Got that. Immortal, T-E-L-L-E, isn't it?
Yeah, immortalyoga.com. That's the best way to look at that. I'm on Facebook. I'm on social media. I am very social, in spite of what I said.
I'm hoping so for your family as well, because of course you've experienced lockdown with your family, so it's probably good that you are social.
And we know how social you are, because we've spent 2 or 3 of the most beautiful Christmases with you and your family.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
That will
memories.
Made a deep imprint on us.
Yes, it has. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I am sociable in my own, but it's a good way. It's good to have the balance, you know.
Yeah.
But,
it is. It's right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it. We've thoroughly enjoyed that, Louise. Thank you so much for agreeing to do it, and we hope to see you very, very soon in reality, in person.
But it's lovely seeing you both. It's as though you're here in my yoga.
It's good. It's really good. Yes, I'm surprised we haven't done it before.
No, it's unbelievable. We will. Let's do it again.
We'll just bring this to an end, but if you just stay on, and then once we've finished the recording, we'll just finish off with you. Okay?
Okay.